Okay, we're going to go through and do a little demonstration here on programming the CDU. First thing we're going to do is get to our overhead panel, and let's get the irises aligned. We've already done our APU fire check, all that good stuff. So this is going to be a quick flight from Detroit, Michigan, over to Williamsport. We're flying the Tigers, Detroit Tigers. We're going to fly them over to Williamsport for the Little League World Series game. Okay, so we've got our CDU here. We're going to go to initial reference. We're going to put in our current airport that we're at, which is Detroit, Michigan. It's just to give us a reference to make sure that where the inertial navigation system thinks we are is actually where we really are. So we're going to go to our last position, and we're going to paste that and set the iris. While that's loading, we're going to go to route, Detroit, KIPT, that is Williamsport. This flight number is 813. That doesn't really matter. You don't have to put that in there. Next page. Now, we already have a flight plan. We just made a direct route and put in a couple of VORs. I'll show you that here by the map. We're going to come down to Charleston, CRL, and then we're going to kick over across Lake Erie to Jefferson, JFN, and then we are going to duck around this restricted airspace because we'll be descending at this point to ETG and then on into Williamsport. So real simple, quick little flight plan. So we've got our departure and arrival, and now we need those 3 waypoints. And so our first one is CRL, Charleston, just outside of Detroit Metro. You click in the correct frequency. That's why you should always write down everything when you make your flight plan, so you know what frequencies those VORs are. You can also use waypoints. A lot of times waypoints that I have are not legit to what my database in my iFly 737 is, because FSX is so old. But on the newer sims, they should all match. Okay, our next one is going to be Jefferson, JFN. JFN. Inc. ETG. And then you always put the destination in for the route. Again, KIPT. We hit activate. And now we don't want to execute yet. We want to go to our performance initialization. We've already fueled the airplane. And so we weigh 138,827, so it's 138.8. Fuel reserves, we just put in a 4,000 pounds. That way we won't trip a low fuel warning. If we do, we're really in trouble. Cost index, I always use 50. That seems to work for this particular sim. We're going to fly at 29,000 feet today. Flight level 290. And now we need to check the current outside temperature, which is located right here, 21 degrees Celsius. And we plug that in to 1. And then we hit execute. Now we notice our CG is 25.5. Remember that? We go to index, takeoff, 737-800 is always going to use flaps 5. And now, what happens if we forgot what that CG was? It's no problem. You can always go to index, performance, back up, 25.5. iFly should always write stuff down. We need our CG 25.5. Set the stabilizer. And then we double click on each one of these to set our V speeds. And now we're all set to contact the tower, get our departure clearance, and take off. Now, as far as the MCP goes, we're going to set our initial speed at 220 knots. We always turn on the captain's, flight director, and then the first officers. We haven't got a clearance yet because if we're going to fly ATC, but if you're not flying ATC, just set your cruise altitude 290, and then get your weather, and then don't forget to set your heading here to match the runway you're taking off from. Don't forget your RTO before takeoff, and to set your flaps at 5, and you're good to go. We're not going to use VNAV. I actually, to be honest with you, never use VNAV in this particular simulator because it tends to want to try to climb faster than the airplane will allow it, and always likes to climb it into a stall for some reason. So I personally don't use VNAV. I just I like to use the this little tab here, which is you set your airspeed, and then the airplane on level change will vary the pitch to hold that airspeed. So 220 until we get to 10,000, and then we can push it on up past that to 250 or whatever. If we're really heavy on a big cross country, I'll come over here to vertical speed, and I'll set it for like anywhere between 1500 and 1200, just so we don't try to climb faster than we're capable of with all that extra weight on. But 737 can pretty much giddy up and go. But anyway, that is a quick little tutorial on programming the CDU. Don't forget, before you take off, you need a departure runway. Let me get the weather here real quick.
Detroit Metro Airport Information Hotel, 1349 Viewers, wind 30 gauge at 6, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky conditions 1200, scattered, ceiling 2000, broken. Temperature 2.18, altimeter 2979, ILS, runway 27 left and ILS, runway 27 right in use, landing and departing, runway 27 left.
Okay, we know where we are in the airport. We're going to end up using 27 left. So we click in 27 left, we execute, and now we can check our progress and see that 311 nautical miles. Let me turn them down. Actually, let me just change frequency and turn them off. Anyway, 311 nautical miles. Our estimated time of arrival is 1445 Zulu, and we should have 8,200 pounds of fuel remaining upon arrival. If we go to legs, we can see those are the waypoints we have plugged in. Now, another little thing you can do, I'll show you this real quick, especially for when you're arriving. I always like to put in a fix. I'll do it for Detroit just so you can see what it does. KDTW, and now you just pick a heading, so 270/10. Okay, and when you, whoop, I'm sorry, that's wrong. We got to put in the airport, the waypoint first. You can do this around any waypoint in the database. Okay, Detroit, and now we go 270/10. This will draw a 10 nautical mile circle around that waypoint. Bingo. So now, if you're approaching Detroit and you're trying to figure out how close you are, you have a reference point. So, for example, if they want you to fly a 10-mile DME circular approach, all you gotta do is click that in. You can do that. Now I can do this for KIPT. Now we're going to be coming in from the west, so we're going to do the same thing, a 270 radio. Remember, radios are going outbound from the station, and that will draw a green line to infinity and beyond. And then as we get closer to Williamsport, we will be able to pick that up and give us a good reference as to how close to the airport we really are. This is a real good tool for making sure you don't land at the wrong airport as well. So anyway, that's a quick little tutorial on the flight simulator, or on the FSX iFly 737NG. This is actually called a CDU, not an FMS. The FMS is the Flight Management System, which is a bunch of computers sitting down in the electronics bay. The interface the pilots use is called a CDU. So that is how you do that. And as far as auto throttles, you should never turn the auto throttles on until you are on the runway for takeoff. And don't forget your RTO before takeoff. Don't forget to set your flaps. And as you push the throttles up, stabilize the engines. Then you push your TOGA, your takeoff go around button, and that should set your N1 for takeoff power. Okay, I'm done. Anyway, that's it. The CDU/FMS quick programming tutorial.